Hey everyone, it's Brandon with FastDataScience.ai, and welcome to another episode of This Week in AI. This is the show where I talk about trends in the news related to machine learning, artificial intelligence, and data science. I get into a little bit of the data science that underlies some of these trends, give you some ideas, hopefully inspire you a little bit, but mostly bring some awareness to some of the issues that these trends are creating, both in terms of business and in terms of our society. So, I'm excited to do today's show. And if you thought I was excited to do today's show because of this, you would be wrong. Yeah, Elon Musk had AI Day last week. I think it was last Friday, and it's where he unveiled his humanoid robot, right? His vision for the future, which is that everybody will soon have an assistant robot that can like go to the grocery store for them. Visionary, whatever you want to call it. I do think I am seeing some trends that are related to enabling more humanoid robots and adding capabilities to some of the things that they're able to do. For example, last week I talked about Amica, which is created by a company called Engineered Arts. And Amica, what they did was they integrated Amica with a large foundational language model called GPT-3. So Amica wasn't just doing facial expressions that are weird and awkward and humanish, but also talking, interacting, using GPT-3's language model in order to respond in a way that appears intelligent. So that's not why I'm excited. So why am I excited to do today's show? I'm excited to do today's show because of the title that I have titled this show, which is that Midjourney sees Rufus du Sol. So if you see the sweatshirt that I'm wearing, you know that I had an awesome experience seeing Rufus du Sol at the Gorge Amphitheater just this last weekend. Mind changing, life blowing, whatever you want to describe it as. It was awesome. Met some really beautiful people, some really wonderful relationships that were built, and I was blown away by the music. But as I thought about the music and really what made me, I think, really interested in how it's related to what's happening in artificial intelligence. And so let me get to that because, one of the biggest trends we're seeing in the news today related to artificial intelligence are these foundational models that go beyond just language. I call them multimodal models. And these are models where you can use text descriptions to generate images. So, for example, here's an article that came out this week that's called The Cairo Sketches, Too Good to Be True, Wonders of AI. IE interviews the architect who still cannot fathom how his surreal AI art gathered so much attention. So what did that AI art look like? Say that 5 times fast. That's not easy. It looked like this. It's actually really interesting and really cool and may be even inspiring for some architects to consider different design concepts. So here's a really interesting situation where you have AI informing the development of and creation of potentially new ideas. I think the implications for the art community are huge because these models are starting to get really good at generating more and more accurate and clear images. Another artist, a French artist, Alain Sanchez, I think I said that right, he's French. He actually used one of those multimodal foundational models called Midjourney, and we'll get to that in a little bit, obviously, the title of the show. But he used it to create a video, a movie, and he created the images, a lot of the images in his movie from this AI machine that essentially helped to build out images of the impacts that plastics can have on ocean life and things like that. Trying to make a point, obviously, a humanitarian and sort of global climate change point. But nonetheless, a lot of the images in the video were driven and developed by an artificially intelligent machine. So how do these artificially intelligent machines work? Well, there's a really good paper, and again, all the links to everything that I'm showing you are in the comments. So if you want to grab any of this and read a little bit more deeply, I highly recommend it. But this particular article does a really good job of explaining at a high level how these multimodal language and image generation models are architected. And one of the things that this article talks about, and I highly agree with in terms of explaining and understanding these models, is that really it comes down to understanding the concept of encoding, or the idea that we can take things like words and represent them based on their relationships to other words in sentences, say, with numbers or vectors of numbers. Well, these multimodal models have advanced that concept to start to combine and encode not just words and their relationships to other words, but words and their relationships to images. So what's happening here in this particular image that you're seeing is you may have, for example, a caption that's captured by this little T with an underscore P. Maybe it's a caption, a text of a puppy playing maybe in the grass or something like that. And then you have an image, right? An image of that puppy playing in the grass. And what this model learns is it learns the relationship between the words in the captions and the pixels that create that image. Obviously, it requires a tremendous amount of compute power to be able to actually learn these associations and represent these relationships as numeric vectors. But this is fundamentally the concept that underlies a lot of these multimodal foundational models. The word for this architecture is called CLIP. There is another set of architectures that are combined to create the overall solution. So if you're interested, read this article, and it will talk about things like encoding, CLIP, the CLIP architecture, and diffusion, auto encoders and decoder architectures, things of that nature. But let's get back to the news, and let's get back to why I'm really excited. Because what's really interesting, I think, is as we look at how these language models have evolved, we've gone from word embeddings and encodings to now word image encodings. What's next, right? Where are we going after this? Well, Facebook actually just came out with a new model that gives us a little bit of a hint of where we might be going next. And that is into video generation. So Facebook created a model that associates words with videos, so motion and movement, multiple pictures combined together, right, to create a movie. This is really fascinating. It has tremendous implications, I think, for the art community. Not just for the art community that creates photos and things of that nature, but now for the art community that even creates movies, animated movies, or maybe even in the future, real movies. There's a lot that we really need to unpack here from a social and business perspective. But I think at the end of the day, the sophistication is growing. So let me get back to why I'm excited and talk a little bit about why I decided to title this particular episode as Midjourney Sees Rufus du Sol. Because as I was watching Rufus and I was listening to the music and I was hearing the lyrics, I was very moved by their lyrics. Their lyrics are incredible, and they create these really stunning visual images for me. And I asked myself, and I was really curious, I wondered, what would the artificial intelligence see if I passed the same lyrics that give me these profound visions to these machines? What kinds of images would they generate? So that's what I did. I took song lyrics from Rufus du Sol, not that, song lyrics from Rufus du Sol, sorry, that's a grading that I was doing earlier, song lyrics from one of their songs called Next to Me, and the particular lyrics go a little something like this. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, come on. Bear with me. I wasn't prepared. Okay, so here's the lyric that I chose. I chose the lyric, "There's a lifetime in front of me, and when my time runs out, I want to feel you standing next to me." For some reason, I find that lyric to be really beautiful, and it creates a really profound image for me in my mind. And I wanted to know what exactly it was that AI would see if I asked it or I gave it this phrase, this passage. And so I'm going to end this show with that image. So this particular image is what Midjourney saw whenever it read, "There's a lifetime in front of me, and when my time runs out, I want to feel you standing next to me." I think these images are profound. I think these images are changing the way that I see and experience the music. The implications for these models and their sophistication are tremendous for humanity, for society, for art, for the way in which we interact with art, for the way in which art evolves. So, to all the people that I met at the show, I see you, I miss you. We had a wonderful experience together. For those of you who are watching this show, I really appreciate your time and attention. Please comment, subscribe, share, do all the things. Let me know what you think. I'd really like to know your thoughts on the implications and maybe even some of the next steps for these multimodal large language models that are starting to really dominate the news cycles related to artificial intelligence and data science and machine learning. And remember, don't just be data driven, be data science driven. Until next week, have a great weekend. Bye, everybody.